How you doing, folks? Ralph Dickinson from the Term Team Easy Life here, continuing our series on booth or vendor events. Wherever you set them up, they're going to be pretty much the same depending on the situation. Generally speaking, you're working out of a 10 by 10 booth. We do recommend trying to pay the extra for a corner booth because it gives you a much more access to people coming from two different directions at your booth. And this isn't a club in my hand, folks. This is a 1.25" by 18" long piece of PVC that we cut to length because see that the position of this table right here? It's low. If you're working a 3-day event, let's say at a home show, your back gets very fatigued because you're standing on your feet. We never recommend sitting down at a booth event. There's no reason to sit down. And you notice I'm standing in front of the booth. Pretend like I got 10 feet behind me to the back of our booth. And we have other stuff back there in our banner and all that stuff in the back. You always want to scoot your booth, your table 3 feet back from the front of the booth so you can present to your clients or potential clients that are walking by in the front of the booth. When you're belly to belly with a client, you're more apt to be able to get them to stop. Anyway, you use these on all 4 legs to bring your booth up to about this height because it's easier and more comfortable for them to see your screen, your computer screen, and for you to be able to use it on a continuous basis, an ongoing basis for those days-long events that you have going. You have your other displays out here. You want everything nice and neat. You don't want it cluttered. You want to be able to reach for what you need. Whatever you want, message you want to portray. In this case, we're talking to you about getting leads. Leads, because that's what it's all about. Every time I bring an agent on board, they say, do you have a lead system? And I got a wonderful lead system. What kind of a warm market you got? The average sphere of influence of an average 35-year-old is 1,100 people that they know by name if they saw them on the streets. If people would just take that and take advantage of that, they would do a lot better in our business. The whole thing here is opening your mouth and speaking, talking to people. When you're at a booth event, that's what you have to do. We've seen so many agencies, they just sit behind their booth, they just take it easy in their chairs. Hi folks, how you doing? That's not how you're going to generate business. You got to get up and you got to present yourself to people. You got to get them to stop. You got to be a foot away from them when they walk by your booth. Hi folks, can I interest you in a life insurance quote? And believe it or not, a lot of people will stop and say yes. And you give them a quote, and well, if you like that quote, is that better than what you're paying now? Well, we don't have life insurance now. Well, I can write this for you right now. It only takes about 8 minutes on our Easy Life system, so it's a wonderful thing to do. And as I said before in our other videos, we try and make it a point to write at least one sale for every agent there to be able to cover the cost of the booth while you're present there. Our average leads on a 3-day event is anywhere from 10 to 50 leads that we'll walk away with each. And that's a good thing because that keeps you busy for several weeks or in between events. But the do's and don'ts of what we're talking about today, you stand in front of your booth, you don't get behind the booth, you don't sit down. There's no reason to ever sit down. If you think you got to sit down for a minute, then you should be out canvassing the event and talking to other vendors and trying to get business from them and collecting cards while you're there, because it's an excellent way to promote your business. Not only that, I found it a very excellent way for me to expand my agency because I'm going to hire every agent that's present at that show.